Respected Honorable Minister of Health, Rina George, my dear colleague Anu Pambiga, eminent guests on the dais, and the eminent audience here. I'm extremely happy to be here at this occasion and had seen Gen Robotics come up as a promising startup right from the beginning. When Dr. Thomas Isaac had initially listed Gen Robotics as a promising startup in his budget speech and had tried to connect various government programs with Gen Robotics, with, of course, the caution that payments from government usually don't go time. And so that had been a pain point for me because they had been looking at us for support, for connects, and for resolving issues. So I had been extremely happy to work with this team in their journey and was also instrumental in taking the Gaiter solution to the General Hospital. Thanks to support from the Health Department, we have been able to demonstrate that. In Kerala, when we talk about robotics, artificial intelligence, and computing, there is a long history of having an initial stage where people were very critical about computers and new technologies. Then subsequently, we have been part of Akshaya and other initiatives for digitally and the post-effective use of computing technology. I myself was instrumental in the policy document when M.G.K. Menon was driving the IT policy for Government of India. He had come for a consultation in Trivandrum. They asked him, "Sir, where are the masses in your policy?" He looked at me with surprise and asked me, "Masses and computer, do you find a relation?" I told him yes. And the next year we came out with Kerala's policy, which brought out computing for the masses, which eventually paved way for Akshaya, then the seeded programs, and the computerization program for Government of Kerala, which I led through, which was the first program for computation in the country for local governments. So robotics in healthcare also, there had been suspicions. People had been always advocating that there should be responsible AI because there is a risk in terms of handling robotics as well. Yeah. We know that world over, in fact, I was discussing with Anup this morning, surgeries and several sophisticated operations are now being handled by invasive procedures or even robotics. But still, there is also a confusion or anxiety regarding what could be the sort of difficulties that could come up, especially when we are entering into an area like pediatric robotic rehab. Still, we don't have a standard at the national level for responsible AI. We have a standard for responsible AI, best practices for responsible AI, but not yet for responsible robotics. But good thing, even though the European Union and IEEE has come up with very clear guidelines and best practices at the international level. One very good thing here is that we are dealing with pneumatic systems. And pneumatic systems have got a unique advantage in terms of safety, in terms of reliability, having lesser sort of components. Pneumatic processes are well known, so the possibility of dangers are limited. But in terms of the design, there has to be a human-centered design, which is extremely important. There has to be an inclusive design. There has to be a process which should ensure that there will not be fatigue, there will not be anxiety. And also the dignity of the child is also upheld as a part of the process. These are all extremely important as we enter into this new area. I'm extremely happy to preside this prestigious occasion, and I wish my young friends and the funders for the program, the doctors and the eminent experts who have gathered for this occasion, is a very important occasion for us. Kerala's healthcare has not been built up based on technology. It has been built up based on the community interventions. During the period 1951 to 1981, Kerala had the highest, in fact, 1951 to 61, Kerala had the highest birth rate in the country because we were trying to look at increasing production. 51 to 91, our decadal growth rates were continuously above the national average. It was beyond 1991 that we started having the declining birth rate. It was created by the awareness of the women who decided that small family is going to be the future of Kerala. So it had been the community process which had built up the healthcare system, the family healthcare system, which now led by our Honorable Minister is going to new heights, improving the quality, the second generation problems in healthcare. We have been able to address the achievements in infant mortality, in maternal mortality, and the standards of health have gone to international heights. But we have still issues of quality which are also being addressed by the Honorable Minister through very ingenious methods. And I am sure that this particular intervention of pediatric robotic rehab, even though it looks as a sort of a slightly off the track thing, is extremely important. I had been telling Afsal that there should be efforts to look at possibilities of rehab for autistic and related problems of children also, because there are possibilities for therapeutic interventions in such areas also. I am not sure. I'm not an expert in this area. There are doctors who would be looking at it. So I'm sure that we should try to look at, because whatever monotonous, mundane, repetitive tasks are there, the robot is an option which you could look at for a more productive use of technology and application. And here, the most important issue is to be responsible to society and to address the problems with the people around. Thank you, and with best wishes.